The club was silent, eerily so. A haunting contrast to the vibrant energy it normally pulsed with. I lay on a makeshift bed of old threadbare cushions in the cramped storage room of the Indigo bar, the scent of stale alcohol and faded perfume lingering in the air. Shadows danced along the cluttered walls as if whispering secrets to the dark. Before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video if you enjoy heartfelt stories like this one. It wasn't supposed to be like this. My name is Clara. I'm 57. For over 3 decades, I've lived a life defined by order and tradition, married to Richard, a dependable man with whom I've shared every routine imaginable. Our lives had settled into a predictable rhythm: morning coffees, evening news, Sunday gardening. Comfortable, yes. But sometimes, comfort grows roots too deep to notice the cage it forms. I work as a cleaner at the Indigo bar, a nightclub as alive as any place I've ever known. Flashing lights, reckless laughter, strangers spilling their souls between drinks. My job isn't glamorous, but it keeps me tethered to life's chaos. To youth, if only from a distance. That night, after a long shift filled with confetti, broken glass, and confessions in bathroom stalls, I missed the last bus home. With no other choice, I slipped into the storage room to pass the night. The room, small, cluttered with cleaning agents and leftover decor from forgotten theme nights, offered temporary refuge. But it didn't take long for the silence to turn oppressive. I curled up, the weight of exhaustion settling on me. But sleep stayed just out of reach. The building creaked around me. Was that just a pipe settling? Or something else? Rustle. I sat up, heart thudding in my chest. My fingers brushed a cold champagne bottle, grounding me slightly, though the unease lingered. Then, just when I'd begun to drift, the door creaked open. Laughter spilled into the room, followed by footsteps. 3 young men stumbled in, their cheeks flushed, eyes glinting with the intoxication of both alcohol and freedom. I recognized them faintly from the club. The lean and mischievous one was Leo. The broad, loud one with the booming laugh was Matt, and the third, quiet, brooding, almost poetic in his silence, was Theo. Leo raised an eyebrow. "Didn't know we had company," he slurred with a smirk. Before I could explain, Matt handed me a half-full bottle. "Come on, Clara. Join us. It's still early." Against my better judgment, and perhaps because I felt safer with them than alone, I accepted. The 4 of us sat among the crates and dust, stories tumbling out between sips. They spoke of music, mischief, their flings and failures. I laughed more than I had in years. For a moment, I wasn't someone's wife or a tired cleaner. I was just Clara. But as the drinks flowed, the air thickened. The laughter became softer. Leo leaned in, eyes flickering with something deeper. "You're different, Clara," he said, his voice a low drawl. "You've got this presence. Not like the girls out there." Matt nodded, his grin turning sly. "Yeah, you've got this mystery to you. Like you've seen things. Lived." Theo's eyes met mine. Quiet, unreadable. "You remind me of someone," he said, voice barely audible. "Someone unforgettable." I tried to laugh it off, deflect. But the weight of their attention was heavy. Leo's hand landed gently on my knee. "Ever wonder if you're missing out?" he whispered. 1,000 memories of Richard flashed through my mind. Quiet dinners, birthdays remembered, routines repeated. Predictable. "I think I should go," I murmured, my voice barely more than a breath. Matt chuckled, a low rumble. "Go where? You're already locked in with us." The room shifted then. Something unspoken passed between us. The playful chaos gave way to a potent, charged stillness. Theo, ever the observer, watched without judgment, his gaze somehow protective. As the night deepened, so did our conversations. The veneer of flirtation gave way to something more raw. They asked about my life. And I told them. About the dull ache of repetition. About how I sometimes looked in the mirror and saw a ghost of the woman I used to be. "I feel like I've been sleepwalking," I admitted. "Like I'm watching my life happen instead of living it." Leo reached out again, this time with more certainty. "You don't have to keep sleepwalking. His hand brushed mine as we moved to grab another bottle. Electricity. His cologne mingled with the scent of the room. Sweet, smoky, unfamiliar. The contact lingered as we sat back down, closer now. You deserve more, he said again softly. Even if it's just for one night. The line was clear. Crossable. My pulse raced. I was no longer just Clara the cleaner. I was Clara, the woman who still felt alive. Desired. I'm married, I whispered. I know, Leo said, his thumb grazing my hand. But tonight. It's just us. No past. No future. Just now. I looked at Matt, who gave me a slow nod of encouragement, and Theo, who remained still. His silence almost reverent. The door clicked shut. Not locked in fear, but in choice. In silence, the room held its breath with me. Then, I stepped into the unknown. The rest of the night blurred into touches, gasps, and a vulnerability I hadn't allowed myself in years. It was messy, thrilling, and filled with an intimacy I hadn't felt even with Richard in a long time. There were no promises, no lies, just a moment suspended in time. When it ended, we lay there. Quiet. Change. Leo turned to me. Are you okay? He nodded. Yes and no. I'd crossed the line. But I hadn't fallen. I had flown. Briefly. Matt stood and offered his hand, no trace of mockery in his smile. You've got more fire in you than most people I know. Theo finally spoke. Sometimes. One night can change how you see everything. I dressed in silence, buttoning up not just my shirt but the truth of what had happened. My shoes scraped the floor as I walked to the door. I unlocked it slowly. The click echoed like a chapter closing. Outside, the air was cold, crisp with dawn. The city hadn't yet woken. But I had. My steps home were deliberate. The guilt sat on one shoulder. The awakening on the other. I saw Richard's face in my mind. His kindness. His routines. Our shared years. I also saw the woman I'd been hours ago. Free, wanted, heard. The sun began to rise. Shadows stretched across the pavement as if pointing the way home. But I knew I was no longer walking back to the same life. At home I showered in silence. Steam fogged the mirror. When I wiped it, I stared into the eyes of a woman I hadn't seen in years. Could I tell Richard? Could I live with this secret? I didn't have the answers. Maybe I never would. But I did know this. Something inside me had awakened. Not just a hunger for touch, but for life, for spontaneity, for meaning beyond routine. This wasn't just an affair. It was an eruption. An untamed part of me screaming to be acknowledged. The coffee tasted bitter that morning, like reality. I sipped it slowly, wondering how long I could keep the secret. Some secrets are shameful. Others are sacred. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more powerful, emotional stories to life.